Good morning from the National Weather Service here in Pocatello. My name is Carter, and this is your Southeast Idaho Weather Hazard Briefing for Monday, February 3rd. A mix of rain, snow, and wind will continue into early this week, with a cold front moving in for Tuesday and Wednesday. I'll be breaking that down for you this morning. Key points we're going to focus on today. Again, atmospheric river moisture will continue to build into Southeast Idaho over the coming days, supporting that mix of daily rain and snow. We'll see a cold front begin to build in throughout the day Tuesday into early Wednesday as we see winds increase across the area, looking like the strongest we'll see this week. With temperatures on the more mild side to start the week, that mix of rain and snow is expected to continue, but temperatures do look like they will be turning colder as we head into later this week and the weekend ahead. And taking a quick look at satellite for you this morning, mostly cloudy skies continue, as you can see some drier air across the northern Great Basin, but widespread moisture continues to build in across much of Idaho heading into today. And a look at the bigger picture for you, so here's that low pressure system that's slowly been churning this moisture onshore over the last several days. And with that persistent southwest flow, we're seeing some pretty appreciable moisture really building up into our region. We're expecting that trend to continue here over the next 2 to 3 days. Your weather outlook for the next 5 days. Overall, very heavy snow continues up into the central mountains and portions of the eastern highlands, but overall, more minor impacts are expected elsewhere as a mix of rain and snow showers continue. But overall, heading into Tuesday, Wednesday, biggest thing on Wednesday will be winds ramping up, but that mix of rain and snow showers will continue, trending a bit more snow as we head into later in the week. And speaking of Stanley, they did set yet another record daily precipitation yesterday of 3/4 of an inch, breaking the previous record of 54/100ths back in 1995. And this is actually the wettest day in about a year and a half up in Stanley, so certainly a pretty impressive total. So far, they are at 1.76 inches and counting with this event. And here's a look at those precipitation totals for you as of this morning. So as you can see up into the central mountains, a widespread 1 to 3.5 inches of liquid has fallen there over the last several days. And into some of our mountain regions along the Wyoming border, pretty similar totals there down into the southern highlands, but some drier conditions, especially across the Arco and Mud Lake Desert area, where that area gets mostly shadowed in this regime. So not seeing as much moisture out there. And here's an updated look at our watches, warnings, and advisories this morning. Overall, expecting those widespread winter travel conditions out there, especially this morning as a band of snow lifts north. I'll be kind of breaking down the timing for you here, but expecting those winter travel conditions to continue over the next several days. But as we warm up, temperatures getting above freezing, should be transitioning over to mostly rain across our lowest elevations, especially during those afternoon hours. And here's a look at those precipitation chances heading into the rest of the week. So overall for today, a mix of rain and snow will continue. A little bit drier air starting to build in from Utah and Nevada this morning, but we are going to see changes begin for Tuesday and Wednesday as a cold front works northwest to southeast across our area. Bit of a break there later in the day Wednesday, but our next system remains on track to move in for Thursday and Friday. A bit colder than this first system that we're seeing, so we're expecting predominantly snow with that. A rain-snow mix across our lowest elevations, ahead of drier and colder conditions building in for the weekend. And here's a quick look at the model's timing for you heading into this morning. So starting off at about 5 a.m., we are seeing a pretty stationary band of snow that's continuing across the Snake River Plain, eastern highlands, and up into the central mountains. The overall trend here on the models is to bring this north. NAM model on the left, HER on the right, expecting that to continue its progression north. Some lingering showers certainly possible behind it. But the overall trend is moisture shifting up into the mountains by this afternoon and evening. And really some impressive moisture over into southwest and central Idaho here coming into tonight and into tomorrow. As that cold front begins to drop in northwest to southeast, we'll see those showers expand in coverage heading in throughout the day Tuesday. Mix of rain and snow given the mild temperatures, but as those colder temperatures start to build in heading into Wednesday, expecting that bigger transition over to mostly snow as we head into Wednesday morning. Some lingering snow showers on the backside of the front before we see a brief break ahead of our next system. And temperatures for you today, it's going to be a cool morning in the teens, 20s, and 30s, but afternoon highs above normal for most in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. And breaking down as far as precipitation goes today, drier conditions further south, but as you get across the upper valleys, generally up towards the upper Snake River Plain, 1 to 3 inches of snow and more moderate to heavy accumulations as you head up into the mountains. And wind gusts today will be continued breezy winds, especially as you get up into the higher terrain, but least windy conditions around the Magic Valley. Some gusts about 25 to 40 miles an hour elsewhere. And heading into Tuesday, a mild morning, 20s and 30s across the board, with afternoon highs still hanging out above normal in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. And for your Tuesday, heavy snow continues up into the central mountains, but as you can see, that really warm air is starting to really affect our lowest elevations, expecting mostly rain if you see any precipitation across these areas, but some decent snow continues, especially up into the central Idaho mountains. And wind gusts on Tuesday, this will be the calm before the storm there as the winds steadily ramp up for Wednesday, but gusts still about 25 to 35 miles an hour on your Tuesday. And heading into Wednesday, noticeably cooler, especially in the afternoon, but morning lows, teens, 20s, and 30s, afternoon highs in the 30s and 40s. And here's a look at those precipitation totals on Wednesday. Overall, light snowfall is expected across the Snake River Plain, some much more moderate to heavy snow across our highest elevations in the central Idaho mountains and along the Wyoming border region. And here's a look at those wind gusts for you on Wednesday. Overall, pretty gusty conditions out there. Snake River Plain looking at about 45 to 55 mile an hour wind gusts, locally stronger in some places. So we're definitely keeping an eye on the wind here for Wednesday. And heading into your Thursday, a cold morning, single digits, teens and 20s to start things off, with afternoon highs looking a bit more near normal, 20s, 30s to low 40s. And for your Thursday, we'll keep those snow chances going. A mix of rain and snow across our lowest elevations, but some more moderate snow does still continue up into the central Idaho mountains and along the Wyoming border region. And wind gusts on Thursday, noticeably quieter than what we saw on Wednesday behind the front. Just some lingering gusts about 15 to 25 miles an hour. And for your Friday, a cool morning, teens, 20s across the board, warmest areas in the 30s, afternoon highs in those 20s, 30s, and 40s. And precipitation on Friday. This looks like it's where we're going to start to see our next system building in late Thursday into Friday and Saturday with another round of widespread snow. This time this system will be a bit colder, it's looking like, so we're expecting more snow as opposed to rain in this setup. But winds do look like they will ramp back up for your Friday, especially across the Magic Valley, Snake River Plain, and our higher elevations. And before I get to some of the outlooks here, just wanted to kind of highlight the trend here. This is the national blend of models, just showing you how that snow stacks up here over the coming days. So this will take you through today. Overall, some pretty impressive totals up around the central mountains, northwest Wyoming, into the eastern highlands. But it really just keeps on continuing as we head into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even into the weekend. We'll continue to see very heavy snow continuing to fall in the mountains. Certainly, if you have any travel plans heading up into the high country, this is certainly something we're going to be continuing to track here for you, but really impressive snow totals heading into the mountains this upcoming week. And to look at what's to come, things do look like we might be turning a little bit more dry as we head into that February 8th through 12th timeframe, so late next week as behind that second colder system. But overall, just a weak chance there, leaning above normal precipitation during that February 8th through 12th. But the bigger signal will be the colder air. So behind that system on late Thursday into Friday and Saturday, looking like we'll get some colder air building in out of British Columbia and Alberta as that drops in behind a cold front. 8 to 14, pretty weak signal there when it comes to precipitation, but the overall trend is there. Maybe we'll see some more systems rolling in here for middle of February. And with respect to temperatures, looking like below normal temperatures will be the going trend here as we head into mid-February. And that's about all I have for you this morning. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please feel free to send us an email, give us a call, or check out some information on our website. Have an awesome Monday and stay safe out there.